Hi, everybody.
Welcome to More Than Money, and as we talk about everything financial
From a biblical
point,
perspective.
from a biblical perspective, and why would we ever do that? It's really funny. You're going to enjoy this, but I just recently had a conversation. I watched a TV show, and it was about this guy who's trying to live a life in alignment with biblical values, and he's being counseled by priests, religious leaders, that you can't do that. You just can't do that. And instead of counseling them that with Christ all things are possible, So I thought it was funny, and it's just the way our world looks at God these days. Is that everything can't be biblical, is the way people are saying it. It's like it's not practical. For you and I, it's different. We've dedicated our life to learning about God and His Word, but for many people it isn't. Well, we're here to help you to understand how that is possible, how all things are possible in Christ, and how when He uses the word "all" a lot in the Bible, and all includes every aspect of our life, including our finances. That's why we talk about everything financial from a biblical point of view.
Yeah.
From a biblical perspective. And today we're going to be answering a question regarding IRAs.
Yeah. So
it's a great time of year for that question, for those kind of questions too, because there's only a certain amount of time you can put money in. Taxes are coming up, so how do you know what kind of IRA or when to contribute, all that kind of stuff.
Well, so Mark, I think we should start with probably the most basic question for those who may not know. Before we get into all the technical stuff, what is an IRA and why is that even important to them?
IRA, individual retirement account. It's actually tax law.
Okay.
The IRS, the government came out with the idea of IRAs in the 70s, and the idea is that you can put away money for yourself, and the money can be tax qualified, meaning it can be either deferred or tax free, depending on the type of IRA. A traditional IRA allows you to put money away and let it grow tax deferred, meaning you don't pay any tax on it till you take it out in the future. A Roth IRA, which came later, allows you to put money away and grow tax free.
Oh, that sounds better.
It better. In fact, the Roth IRA is the first IRA to be that came out that I have any real appreciation for. A lot of people like the traditional IRA because if they qualify, meaning they don't have a 401k or other retirement plan through work, and their income is within a certain limit and all this kind of stuff, they can contribute to it and deduct the amount they contribute from their income for that year's tax calculations. So it's tax deductible. And a lot of people like the idea of not having to pay tax on it today and just deferring it to the future. Let's get back to the biblical perspective of this. The reason I didn't like that is because I don't see anywhere in the Bible where it tells us to defer our problems to the future. And most people would agree taxes can be a problem. So, what are you really deferring them to? Back when the IRA came out, people said, well, I'll be in a lower tax bracket when I retire, so I'll pay less tax. Not considering that to be in a lower tax bracket for most people, you'd have to cut your lifestyle by 60%. I don't know a lot of people who want to do that. So it really didn't make any sense. And who really believes taxes are going to be lower in the future anyway? But that's a whole other show. The point is that there are different types of IRAs, and you have to decide which ones you're going to contribute to and whether you even qualify for it.
So then, going on contributions. So can you go ahead and just contribute as much as humanly possible, and then just be rich in the future when you retire?
No, there are limits, and a lot of that has to do with your age. There's two different ages. Those I think it's below 50. I have to recalculate. If you're 50 or above, they have what's called a catch-up provision, which allows you to contribute more. I think you have that table there, don't you? So anyway, 5,500 is normally your contribution, but if you're 50 or older, it allows you to contribute another what is it?
Another $1,000.
Yeah, another $1,000. So 6,500. So it's a catch-up provision to either IRA. And like I said, if you have an IRA or if you have a 401k or a pension plan, something at work, that disqualifies you from being able to deduct your traditional IRA contribution, but doesn't nullify your ability to contribute to a Roth or to a traditional non-deductible.
So is that something that you would recommend? I mean, Roth seems to be your favorite. So is that something that you would recommend?
I do like the Roth. I think everybody should have a Roth.
Okay.
Because it's more flexible, and you have the ability to take money out even prior to 59 and a half without a penalty, unlike the traditional IRA. So under certain circumstances, so let's say that you put money in, and if you leave it, if you don't touch it for 5 years, any money in your Roth for 5 years, you can take your contributions out without any penalty or taxes prior to 59 and a half. After 59 and a half, you can take it out tax-free.
Oh, okay.
So that's good stuff.
So let's jump on the other end of that. We talked about the contributions for the IRA. What about, well, we'll call it the fun part, the distributions.
Okay.
What about you getting the money?
What about?
Are there, well, you mentioned tax implications for when
Sure.
you're older. Could you explain that?
Sure. When you defer your taxes in the future, you have to pay tax on that money somehow with a traditional IRA. So when is the best time to pay those taxes? When you're young and working and you have unlimited potential, or when you're older and you have a limited amount of money over here you need to live off of forever, and you know, that's it.
Okay.
You know, so my thought of it is, for many people, it might be best to pay taxes now. Hence the Roth, if you can. So you might want to do that. Is utilize the Roth IRA and start deferring not taxes but wealth to the future, and wealth alone.
Okay. So you mentioned, you know, when you're younger, being able to pay those taxes, or it would be a better idea. Could you kind of give me a little bit of an example of what would be a bad idea for taking out funds for an IRA? Say, I don't know, when you haven't reached the required age.
I'm not sure I'm following you on this.
So if you were to take out funds from your IRA early.
Okay.
What
There are different ways you can do that.
Okay.
If you do it without a qualified distribution, then with a traditional IRA, there's a 10% penalty plus taxes. So the money is just put on top of your total income, and then you're taxed at that rate.
Okay.
For a Roth IRA, there can be a 10% penalty and taxes also.
Okay.
So if it's not qualified, but there are exceptions to these rules. For example, first-time home buyer, medical expenses that exceed, I think it's 7.5% of your adjusted gross income, disability, death, you know, things like that, where you can take money out without penalty for the traditional IRA, our tax deductible traditional IRA, and then you'd only pay taxes on the traditional IRA that's non-deductible. You pay taxes on the growth of those monies.
Oh, okay.
And with the Roth IRA, you'd only have to pay taxes. You won't pay any taxes or penalty if you hit those qualifications.
Okay.
You know, like the first-time home buyer or things like that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. Well, thank you, Mark. I mean, those are all the questions that I personally have.
Okay. Well, the real question we had that we haven't even addressed yet is how long before I can make my last contribution for last
year. Yeah.
And the key is you can make contributions to your IRA if you qualify to do so. You don't hit those exemptions, those income levels, or you don't have the 401k at work and things like that. You can make those contributions up to the day the taxes filings are due. So, you know, if taxes are due April 14th, then you can make those contributions up to that date, which is fine. And here's something else that's kind of interesting. Did you know you can have, if you're getting a refund, you can have up to the legal amount that the IRS says you can contribute to your IRA, your refund put directly into your IRA if you wanted to.
No.
Yeah.
No. Well, it's probably, it could be a smarter idea than them handing you a check.
Well, I thought about this a little bit. I don't like the government controlling anything to do with my
Well,
money.
yeah.
But if you're gonna get money back from the government and you really don't have any retirement started, what a great way to start funding a retirement. Just say, yeah, put it in my IRA. Or they can send you a check and you can put it in your IRA.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. There is a lot of regulations with IRAs on how you can put money in, how much. You know, for example, just to show you, I might have a qualified plan at work, so I can't contribute to a traditional deductible IRA, but my wife may not have a qualified plan at her work, so she could contribute, or if she doesn't work, she could contribute. The spouse of somebody working can contribute, even though they don't have income.
Okay.
So, you know, and there's all sorts of little regulations like that. So what I'd like to do is, if you have questions about contributing to an IRA, what kind to contribute to, how much can you contribute, when can you contribute, give our office a call at 314-212-1404. Be happy to answer those questions for you.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mark. I really appreciate it. And-
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
well, now I kind of want to discuss the elephant in the room here.
Would you call me?
We have a poster here.
Poster.
And what is this
A
for?
backwards
This is-
poster.
It is backwards. That's
Because of the way the camera's
camera's
right.
facing. But
Well, this is actually the cover of my soon-to-be-released book, which will be out in a couple of weeks, The Wall Street Awakening. And the thing here is it's the heart and mind of investing with biblical integrity. Remember, all things financial from a biblical point of view. That's what we talk about. It's also what we write about. And this book will be out in a couple of weeks. It helps people understand. It prepares the heart to understand biblical wisdom regarding investments, the first half. And then the second half is application. So it guides the mind on how to apply this knowledge and this new wisdom that you may find on how to invest with biblical integrity. Another way to put it would be how to invest in a fashion that honors God, or investing as an act of worship. You know, what's really interesting is we Christians have been tricked or duped or, you know,
scammed something,
to be supporting and actually funding abortion, pornography, and other immoral lifestyle type services and products through our 401ks and through our retirement plans. Many people just don't know that's happening. This book helps people understand how that is happening and what they can do about it. You know, what's the number one phrase we hear in our conference room with new clients when we show them what they're either profiting from or promoting within their investments?
I just didn't know.
I just didn't know. And then following that is, get me out of it. Because I don't want to support those things or promote them. I don't want to harm others. I don't want to cause people to stumble. And this book helps you to understand what that's all about. And you can get a copy of it. And by the way, it will be out on Amazon. It should be in bookstores and everything like that.
Okay.
And in the next few weeks. But you can pre-order a copy now at thewallstreetawakening.com. They've got a price out on it, and that includes shipping and handling. And we're going to autograph every pre-ordered book.
Yeah.
So you can get an autographed copy of The Wall Street Awakening by going out to thewallstreetawakening.com and ordering it.
Yeah. And one of the things that we're going to be doing in the future is Mark's going to be doing book signings.
That's right.
He's going to be doing.
We'll have announcements of where those book signings, so you can come out and celebrate with us.
Yeah.
And, so tell your friends, wake your neighbors, tell your friends, let everybody know about the new book, The Wall Street Awakening, the heart and mind of investing with biblical integrity, so that we can reach as many people as possible with the concepts of how to honor God with all things in life, including your investments.
Yeah.
And one final thing, not about the book, but on a separate level. You know, More Than Money Ministries is pretty much a startup ministry. It's pretty much me and you and Cindy. You know, we do it all, but we have, as you've seen in the past, we have 4 sub-ministries we work with.
Yeah.
And 2 of those sub-ministries have kind of directors right now. But we are really searching for people, quality people who are organized, passionate about serving the Lord and serving people and honoring God by serving people. And we're really looking for somebody to be the director of More Than Money Ministries. Right now, it's a volunteer position. Hopefully, it'll grow into a paid position as revenues come in and as people see the impact we're having in communities with Mission Locals, where we come alongside families and help them grow out of poverty and become a conduit of blessing to others. With the Stewardship Ministries, which our Stewardship Mastery, which helps people understand stewardship of all aspects of their life and other areas. So if you know anyone, or if you yourself are considering getting involved with a Bible-based ministry, one that is out there doing real-world work today, and you have leadership qualities and management qualities, we need to hear from you.
Yeah.
We need somebody in that position as the director of More Than Money Ministries to help execute, coordinate, and make things happen. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, we can always use your support financially to grow it and make it happen. We'd appreciate anything you do. Please be praying for the ministry. It's God's. We're here to just facilitate, move it forward, and we're happy to do so and honored.
Yeah, very much so.
And with that said, we hope that this week brings you a lot of blessings and realization that life is
So much more.
than money. God bless everyone.